Aarti, are you there? Do we start the class?
Yes, Bala, your sound is very low.
Live stream is on, Bala. We can start.
Oh, not audible, is it? I'm not audible, looks like. You are? I am. Okay. Because Prabha was saying it's very low. You start, Aarti, as always.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयाधितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृतामृता विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत् हरि
Aarti, you have to allow me to share the document.
You should be able to know, Bala. Are you?
Yes. So where have you completed this? Bali keeps his promise.
Yeah, I think we went to the next one. We've completed this.
Okay. Is this font size good, big enough? Bali is over, Matsyavatara?
No. Oh, we didn't complete. Sorry. We just read 1 or 2 paragraphs and then we went off in another this thing. Go back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we were doing this. Move up.
We can start from the first.
We read the first one.
Just
we read this. Bali was neither frightened nor hurt by the words of Vamana. That paragraph we have read.
You have to start.
We can start from here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bala.
Bali was neither frightened nor hurt by the words of Vamana. He smiled and said, Lord, I do not consider my words to be lies. There is still place for you Your third pace. Please be gracious enough to place your foot on my head. I'm not afraid of Naraka, but I'm afraid of being called a sinner. I'm not afraid of these bonds which have tied me up. I'm not afraid of poverty and eternal sorrow, punishment which is meted out to a man by one who is dear to him. Punishment which is meted out to a man by one who is dear to him. Dear like a mother, a brother, a father, or well-wisher is indeed a blessing. In the eyes of the world, you are supposed to have punished me for my pride and my arrogance. But in reality, you have blessed me. You have opened my inner eye, the eye of wisdom, and you are a friend of Asuras and not their enemy.
We'll continue, Bala. This paragraph we finished
Done?
last. Yeah.
Okay. You love my grandfather, Prahlada. You were silent when he was tortured by his father because Prahlada knew that the physical frame which was going through so much pain is, in reality, nothing. He knew that the body was of no help, that wealth and friends were of no assistance when there was danger of one's wisdom being eclipsed. He did not think of any of them even for a moment, but spent all his time thinking on you and your blessed feet. I have also done that. It is wealth that makes man proud and arrogant. Man becomes blind and loses sight of the fact that death is the end of the body. And now, what have you done to me, my lord? You have forced this wealth away from me, and you have made it possible for me to reach you sooner than would have been the case otherwise. I am the most fortunate among men. So, this is the Bhagavatam repeatedly says, no? When God has chosen, when God loves somebody, he takes away things from him. What is dear, what we are attached to, our attachments are just, we cannot leave it. He grabs it because he wants that story comes, right? Of that Arjuna and Krishna walking.
Correct.
Well, we have seen this many times in Bhagavatam, I think, right? So just quickly, it is Arjuna and Krishna were walking in the forest. There are two variations. One is Arjuna Krishna, the other one is Narada Krishna. Anyway, it doesn't matter, something. So they go into a very rich man. They go and they knock the doors of a very rich merchant's house. And they go there inside. They are not at all welcomed by the merchant. And the merchant is in a hurry. He is occupied with a lot of his work. So he, in fact, thinks that it is a disturbance that these two have come. And there was no due respect that was paid. So Arjuna is shocked. And then when they were leaving, Krishna blesses the merchant, saying that you will have good business. All your business will flourish. And he comes out. Arjuna doesn't say anything. He just comes, but he is a little, disturbed. How come that merchant who was, Krishna has blessed him like that? So then as they walk and they go, there is a small little kutira kind of a hut kind of a thing where they enter. There is one frail man, a bhakta of Krishna. He welcomes them with so much love and then, washes their feet, gives them food that he had, and, served them completely, with his heart in Krishna. So when they were leaving, Arjuna was super touched by the way, this Bhakta was serving them. And Krishna was also very happy about it. So both of them come out and then Krishna just blesses. And then in the mind, he says, the cow, as he comes out, he says to Arjuna, see, this man has one cow there. This is going to die tomorrow. Now Arjuna says, what is this, Krishna? I see that you blessed that merchant, did not even, have the basic courtesy of serving the Adithis. Forget that you are Krishna and all that. He did not even have that. And he was just thinking of that. And this one, with so much love he did. And what kind of blessing? Krishna says, see, he wanted only money and business. He still has so many, things to enjoy in life, and then only he will learn from all his whatever the success that he think he gets. He will learn from all that, so I'm giving him that is also a blessing only, actually. Yeah. And this one, he wants only me. He's constantly thinking about me. He wants only me, and he really communicates with me always. But there is one small obstacle, that cow. He has so attached to that cow. So when that is gone, he will come to me. So as a bug, as whatever, if we want to connect to Bhagwan, just that constant connection. That is what here also he says. Prahalada was just thinking about Bhagwan. He did not even pay attention to the body mind that was going through so much of pain that was given by Hiranyakashipu. So his mind was abiding in him, in truth. Satya Param Dhimahi. So completely in that. So the rest was taken care by Bhagwan. So that is what I think comes out here for us.
Every time we are attached with something, we have moved away from God. And we just have to let it go, and immediately it will go. So when we seek God somewhere else, but we have to know Hridaya Kuhara Madhya Kevalam Brahma Matram. He is there in our own hearts. And what happens is, because our mind is constantly thinking, we are living in our mind rather than in this at his feet. We are living in our mind rather than at his feet. And hence, because we are living in our mind, his feet is covered for us. We are not able to see his blessings, which is there every moment. Only he is shining. But we are not able to see that. But why is that? That is because of attachment. The moment we can get detached and turn 180 degrees, why are we attached to sensory pleasures? Because, and when we say sensory pleasures, we also did a very nice activity. Prabha did one very nice activity of writing down. I don't know, just to give you a heads up again for those who might not have been there, you can do it later. She gave a very nice exercise of just writing down your fears. I am afraid of. When we say I am afraid of, in one way, fear, the basal fear is the fear of death. And what is this fear? The fear of death is actually the fear of death of the ego. The false identification as this jiva. Whereas the only reality is that supreme consciousness who is shining through all of us. But we have this false identification with the world outside and with our body. And because of that, that is the root cause of all fears. And every fear that is there is a form of death, is a fear of the death of the ego. I am holding on to something. The mind, the ego does not want to let go. It will throw so many thoughts justifying why we should hold on to this. This is only right. That is wrong, and all of those things. But the reality is that is the play of the ego, which does not want to lose its relevance. Because the death of the ego is immortality. Because the only thing that goes through birth and death is this body. So when we let go, that fear of letting go of something, oh, if this is not there in my life, what will happen? That fear shows attachment. That fear shows that there is an attachment with that object outside. And why is there an attachment with that object outside? Because there is some void within me. Because there is some lacking within me. And I am trying to fill that void or lacking with that object outside. Some said, I am afraid of losing my loved ones. Somewhere I have not owned up that complete self-love, the whole self, that love within. And hence, I feel loved because these people are there in my life and they complete me in a way. But in reality, the supreme self, the God within us, is always complete. But we are not identified with that supreme self, that God within. And we seek, and we are with the ego, and hence we seek that filling up of the void from the, so there is a dependency on the object outside. And then there is a fear of that object not being there. So when we have gratitude also, we have gratitude for all the things we have rather than just feel gratitude. Just to live with gratitude, just to live with love. Now, Raghuramji said a beautiful, when we have, in life we have desires, that is why we are living. The very desire is that I have to breathe. If I close my nose for some time, the life has its own desire. It's saying it's not yet time. You have to continue to live. But when I say desire of, then I am attaching desire to an object. When I say love, love itself, just living through love is the true nature. But when I say I love to do something, I love this person, I love this situation, then what I'm doing now, I am attaching the love to a certain object of the world. And then comes the fear of what will happen. And this whole thing is because of not owning up the completeness, which is us. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. And Rajit ji also very beautifully added how for him there was an experience, there was a situation, and he was just told to look at the mirror and say, I accept myself as I am, and I accept the other as they are. I am complete as I am, and and the other is complete as they are. I love myself as I am, and I love the other as they are. Simple. Even if I don't believe, I keep saying this, and eventually there is a way it makes movement. It is this lack of self-love, which is that self-love. And Prabha also beautifully added that last week about how there is that is why they're talking about God, that self. Even in all of Ramana Maharishi's talks, if you see, it is only praise, in devotion to the higher self within. It is the higher self within is the devotion. Not owning that devotion, that higher self is doubt. When I say, can I do it? I don't do it. I am not good enough. I am not having faith in that divine self that is there within. And if I have faith in that divine faith, that divine self is there within, it will guide us. Just need to put our thoughts down, our anxiety down, our self-doubts down, and know that that divine self within is complete, Purnam, Nitya, full of love, full of compassion. And know that that Purnam within is guiding me every moment. Let me not unnecessarily get this Jiva acting.
Jiva also is a bhava. It's not real. It's very apparent. Something holding on to, and we love our ego rather than just being loved. That's the problem. Loses sight of the fact that death is the end of the body.
It is wealth that makes you. Wealth does kind of make us. So now again here, you can renounce everything outside. Is that what we are talking about? It is the renunciation of that attachment within. Attachment to that object, the entanglement to the object.
Raghuramji beautifully says, for wealth and all, you're a trustee. That's all. God has trusted you and given this. If you put it to good use, it will be there. Otherwise, wealth just goes away. The miserliness, all that comes there, right? So if it is not put in good use, she will, that's why Lakshmi, they say, will stay only where Narayana is being worshipped. Like that. So, like a trustee, okay, for this much time, Bhagavan has given this, it may go anytime. Whatever has to be done through this mind and body, will happen. In complete surrender, there is so much of freeness in the mind. That is the biggest blessing, actually. That is how we will know that grace is there. That is, we don't say, oh, this mine, it doesn't come. So very beautifully, I heard Nachu Swami was saying, anything that is an obstacle between you and God is sin. So that was a new definition I heard. It was very nice. So sin, don't think about, right, wrong, don't. Anything that is an obstacle between you and God, it's a sin. So what is the main culprit is the ego. Everything is connected to that only. So that is why, directly Ramana Maharishi points to this ego and says, find out who is that. Find out who. Then we will know it is apparent. It is not real. There is nothing like that. Somewhere we are caught up with something. So constantly, that is inquiry, constantly paying attention to this I. Oh, I'm feeling angry, I'm scared. Who is this I who is feeling scared? So the attention moves from the thoughts related to fear and scaring to the one who is experiencing it. More and more and more. It is about moving the attention from the unreal to the real. It is not about answering the question, Bala, body, nothing. It is about moving the attention from the unreal to the real. The more and more this is done, we know how, without being present, this ego, we are, caught in this grip of this ego, which is not even there. It is only a bhava. Not that higher bhava, it is only an imagination.
When we say this unreal and real, it is a movement from perception to see things as it is. Now, if we have to give an example for this, now sunlight is always shining. Now, there is a pot or some object kept in the middle. Then there is a shadow. Now, because an object is kept in the path of the sunlight, there is a shadow. Now, according to the size of the shape of the object, also the shadow will change. And what is the shadow? The shadow is darkness. The light is there because the object is shining, the light is not there and it has become darkness there. And that is what is called a shadow. Like that, these thoughts, our attachments, our fears are all like those objects. The Supreme Self is constantly shining. Krishna Bhagavan is constantly shining from within our own hearts. And shining constantly, but these thoughts, these words, these desires, feelings, all of these and are coming in the way like that pot. And then what we experience is darkness, which is the ignorance. So how do we experience the light? Only by turning towards the light, the source of the light. And
The
ignoring the object.
Turn. Yeah, that is one way. Ignore the object, turn. Or by seeing that the shadow is also light only. Because the light is present, the shadow is there. Because the light is present, the object is there. That is divinizing the world. Raghuramji's, divinize everything. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. Everything is she. It is the divine mother. It is the Shakti of Bhagavan. So when there is fear, they say this is a beautiful way to, what is that camphor thing? Sublime the emotions. Emotion also is coming up for some functional. Only when I identify with it, I get stuck with it. Yeah? The emotion, Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu, I don't know if that is there. Bhaya Rupena Samsthita. Right? The fear is also her only. The mind is also her only. When we start divinizing everything, then again that clutches, we are not caught, we are not in the grip of the asat. So a beautiful definition of asat and sat as per Vedanta is anything that appears, stays for some time and disappears, which is there in the sensory perception or the mental perception. That is all, they all fall in the category of asat. We must know this definition very clearly. Otherwise, people think it is not even there. We are not talking about things like that. Asat means anything that appears, stays for some time and disappears. Anything that stays, that which stays constantly is Sat. So, with this definition, if we contemplate and see everything, when we are living in the mind, everything is Asat. But there is something which is witnessing all, the only one Sat. So this Asat Sat, the unreal real, in having this definition in mind, we need to contemplate. Then we will know what. So our ego, Asat only, because even the ego is not the same, right? For some point in time, I hold on to my fear, and then it is there, and then somewhere it disappears after some time. Yeah, and then next I'm holding on to something else, some other anger, maybe, I don't know, whatever, and some pleasure. Hold on to the pleasure, it appears, it goes off. So, but there is across all these that is appearing and disappearing, there is a constant something. The attention needs to, that is that light. Attention needs to be in that light, which is illumining the Asat. Because in whose presence the entire, so that is what is Asat. Yeah? Yes.
Any thoughts? Anybody? Any thoughts by anybody? I was asking. Anybody else here who wants to share something? Okay.
So Prahlada's, yes, Jayamalaji.
So asat is same as mithya? Or
Anitya.
We say no.
Mithya, she said.
Yeah, Brahma Satyam, Jagat
Mithyam.
Yeah, false. Yeah.
Everything is asat. The Panchakosha is asat.
Okay.
The Panchakosha is asat. The world is asat.
Okay. Mithya is illusion or it is unreal?
Yeah. You can take it.
Illusion, you can say.
It appears, but...
It appears.
It appears.
Okay.
Sat means as it is, that which exists. Sat, existence. My or reality as it is.
There is only Sat. Only Sat is existence.
Yes.
That which exists is Sat. That's all.
Notur Swami was saying in one of his talks in Tamil, you say Sattu Poi, it means when somebody is dead, it's actually that.
Yeah.
Existence is gone. There's no.
Yeah. Yes. So Prahlad was completely in Sat. He did not pay attention to Asat. He was not even aware of that. He was in Sat.
Yeah, he was constantly in Sat.
For him, everything was Hari. That's why when Hiranyakashipu asks, from where do you get so much of courage? Even the Devas and Devatas are scared of me, and you are talking to me. And how do you get so much courage to face all that I have put you through? Prahlada says, the same with Hari, who is talking through you, is the Hari who gives me the courage. So he sees Hari in his father everywhere. So that was Prahlad.
So these are the different margas, like what Bala was telling, right? So one is following Vairagya. Disentangling yourself from what I am not and turning towards who I am in a form that is Vairagya. And then the other is the form of Prakriti. Everything is Prakriti. When I walk out, I see a plant. In the plant, who is there? It is the Sat is there. The plant is in Sat, a superimposition on Sat. The sun is a superimposition on Sat. The sun itself, in everything, the Brahman is there, and the Prakriti and Brahman are like Ardhanarishwara, like they are together. So in everything there is Brahman. In me also there is Brahman. And even in the feelings there are Brahman. So what this does is, sometimes when we follow Vairagya and say that I'm not this fear, and I am the Supreme Self, it can be very easily misunderstood, and people can get into saying, oh, I should not be feeling this fear, I should not be feeling this fear. It is not about that. Sometimes we can say as though the fear is a bad emotion. It is not that. It is just to say that who is this fear coming up? In who is this fear coming up, which means we are somewhere validating that the fear is there, accepting that the fear is there, but we are understanding that the substratum of the fear is there, which is the existence consciousness bliss. And then we are going to the substratum and knowing that the fear is, the source of the fear is in that substratum, which is Brahman, or Krishna or Bhagavan or whatever, however we want to call. So, and we are just shifting our focus. So when I say I am afraid, I am not nullifying the fear. I am not suppressing the fear. I am just saying I am not the fear. The fear has arisen in me.
Yes.
And I just am.
And that gives strength to endure the fear. And I clearly know it will go away sometime.
And actually, the moment you turn it around again and again, it's a way of ignoring that object. Slowly, that object will not have the power over us.
That's all.
But the more and more we indulge in, but we forget the I am, and we indulge in the I am afraid. Why am I afraid? Oh, that person did this. That's why I'm afraid. This person did this. That's why this situation is like that. Oh, that's why I'm afraid. We go on. Our mind is constantly more on the object rather than on the existence.
All the methods, that we come across, be it, this negation, or be it divinizing everything, see everything as a Shakti, form of Shakti, all these are not to understand. They all are like pills to be taken. They all are practices given by our rishis to turn the attention to truth. That's all. Nothing else. To quieten the mind, to allow the mind to abide in the source. So these are methods. These are not to be intellectualized and understood. It is not possible. How is, a leaf Brahman? We cannot understand. It is a practice. It is a pill given by our rishis. Take it, tell it again and again. It works. It's the power of the truth. That's all. Because many times we say, no, what you're saying, it is not there, but it is there. I'm experiencing. So it's the blabbering of my intellect. So it is all, the entire prakriya method is to quieten the mind and subside the mind in its source. That's all. Endure. As long as something is there, the body mind has to endure, it will endure. Tam stitikshasva bharata. Krishna's first medicine, right? That's what he says. So what is that? Matra spashyastu kaunteya. Yeah. So our senses and mind are measuring the Brahman. It is only Brahman. But I am measuring it and putting it in a slot called fear. Measuring because of ignorance. It is Brahman shining forth. I'm measuring that, limiting it as anger, limiting it as pleasure, limiting it within that time, So as long as I'm eating chocolate, there is pleasure. It's a limitation. giving that limitation. So Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada. So everything is a limitation. Body is a limitation. So whatever happens to the body is also a limitation. So it is all there. It is being perceived. It is in the sensory plane. It is all very much factually present. Turn the attention to Bhagavan and endure.
And know that Bhagavan is there within our heart. It's very important. It is within ourselves as that higher self. Very important. Read the Vishnu Sahasranama beautifully. It is a way to connect to the divine self as Vishnu. Read the Shiva Stuti. It's a beautiful way to connect to the self as Shiva. Anything you read, you chant, remember that is all that praise that is there of the divinity within there is nothing but the divinity which is the self within. And that slowly will bring up that beauty, that self, when I have to remember, it is not like, we think that Uparwala, God knows where we got that Uparwala from. He is no Upar. He is not Upar anywhere.
Maybe he is so, what do you say?
He's everywhere and
Great,
he's here.
no?
Yes.
Maybe people brought it as Uparwala.
It is like he's sitting somewhere after that Uparwala thing came. He is Andarwala. He is Andar, Bahar, Upar, Niche, around everywhere. He is everywhere. He is the only reality in which we are existing in him. So it's easier for us to connect in our heart. The moment we do all the chanting and connect and know that it is, I'm whatever, Lalita Sahasranama, I'm connecting to Lalita as the divine within my own heart in that sense. So then slowly that ego subsides or sublimes, and what remains is only the supreme, the aham. Bhagwan.
Krishna declares, I am that Gati, Bharta, Prabhu, Sakshi, Nivasa, Sharanam, Suhrit, Prabhavav Pralaya Sthanu, Nidhanam, Bhijam Abhyayam. Says, I am the Gati, the only one to whom we can surrender. Bharta, friend, Prabhu, Lord, Sakshi, the witness within. It is all within. Nivasa, the one who resides in each and every Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. He is just there in everyone, in all, the entire, a beautiful, example that came up was with children sometimes, it comes, right? So, it is like Bhagwan is all pervasive. He is omnipresent. But we say he is in the heart, What does it mean? So it is something like air is everywhere. Yeah, air is everywhere in this body, inside, outside. There is no inside, outside. Air is everywhere. But it can be felt only in the nostril. Similarly, rishis have found that yogic method that is why all of us say, always Swami says, when I say, who is Bala? I am Bala. We don't say I am Bala. We don't say I am Bala. We say I am Bala. We touch near the heart and say, so somewhere, that even unconsciously, we all know that he can be felt. He is omnipresent. He or she or it or whatever it is. So it is omnipresent. But that personal God within can be felt inside, in the cave of the heart. Upanishads say that Narayana, it comes, in that Suktam. He is in the lotus sitting, small. Such visualizations help in connecting with the that friend within, that Sakshi within, that Prabhu within, and completely surrender to that. That is the one which is doing every moment, powering every moment, everything there. And that is the connection. The moment there is a connection there, then we know it is he who is everywhere. The connection is
So in that space, in that divine, when the ego is not working, we feel there's an sense of empowerment. What is that sense of empowerment? No doubt. No fear. Just feeling like I will do my best, whatever. I'm not worried about whether I can do it, can I not do it? Is this the right thing for me? Is this not the right thing for me? Yeah, am I interested in it? Am I not interested in it? Do I like this? I hate it. None of this comes. If it is required, just go and do it. If there is a need, just go and do it. So then that I like, I don't like, I am interested, I am not interested. This is my Swadharma, this is not my Swadharma. That person is doing so well, I cannot do like this. None of that plays. I just am. And I just do whatever is my work in that situation as best as I can. There is no perfection we are looking at, because there's no perfection in the world. In the world, there is no perfection. The only perfection is in the divine. So in the divine, you just stay. There is a sense of whenever just, if a doubt comes, oh, I am with the ego. But I am complete. This is the ego because I'm feeling a sense of lacking. This is because I'm feeling a sense of fear. So I'm with the jiva. That's how you can recognize. But actually, I'm complete. I'm Purnam. The self is Purnam. The greater being is Purnam. And that greater being is none but the greater self within me. I am that. Tattvamasi. I am that. That's it. Divaji, you want to say something? I saw you getting unmuted, so I was wondering.
No, ma'am. I was just.
Okay. We'll move on. Somebody has drawn these lines. If you can try and remove those.
I don't know how to erase it.
Yeah. I don't know who did it. I saw. Okay.
Stop share and come back. Will it go away? 1 second. Yeah, not there.
Move on. We'll move on.
Yeah. At that moment.
At that moment, Prahalada, the grandfather of Bali, came. He was the beloved Bhakta of Narayana, and Bali wanted to fall at his feet and honor him, but he could not since he was bound by the Varuna Pasha. He welcomed him and worshipped him with his tears. Prahalada went straight to Vamana and fell at his feet. With his tears, he washed the feet of the Lord. Brahma came to Narayana and said, "Do not distress Vidyavali any longer. Please release Bali from his bonds. He has given you all that he had. Have you not said that a man who has had his thoughts always with you will attain your nearness, even if he worships you with water and few blades of grass? This Bali has given away everything to you and he has surrendered himself to you. He should be rewarded by you." Narayana said, "When I want to destroy a man, I grant him all the wealth and power in the world. He then gets involved in them and forgets his real nature. If, however, I desire to save a man from this Maya, I take away his wealth, his all, rid of all his faults, he will become mine. Once he is saved, my Bhakta will never be destroyed."
Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Appa. What a great assurance. Bhagavatam is full of Bhagavad Gita also. When we hold on to such assurances, it gives a lot of say. The fear is, where is fear? So when something goes, we must remember it is a blessing. Bhagavan is helping us to get out of the grip of, some attachment that I am with. It is a biggest blessing. Urdhva Moolam Adashakam. In worldly outlook, we think the other way. When we have good things, we say it all happened by grace of the Lord. Getting whatever as I desire. When the desires are fulfilled. But it's just the other way.
There are these words, Shreyas and Preyas, right? Shreyas and prayas. Shreyas is that which, that path which takes us towards him. And prayas is that path which takes us away from him. In a way, prayers can seem like it is giving us peace this moment or happiness this moment. But in the long run, in the long run of life, it will take us away. So when we say satsanga, and when we say yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta ahara, everything that we do, that we see through our senses, anything that we observe, is it taking me away from him or taking me towards him? That is what makes us yukta. When we say yukta ahara, we are thinking only in terms of food, even in terms of food or whatever. Is it for my senses or is it taking me towards the divine? Is it taking me towards the senses? Anything that I hear, that I see, that I hear, that I talk, that I experience, is it taking me towards the divine? Is it making me remember the divine, or is it making me forget the divine? Is it making me be the divine, be in the divine, or is it making me move away?
Ma'am, then we don't need to fear dukkha only, because whenever we are in dukkha, we think of God.
Yeah.
Like Kunti, right?
Ah.
Yes. That's why Kunti so wisely says, give me dukkha. I remember your God. It doesn't matter. This worldly thing comes and goes. Asat. So when all doors are closing, we must know that God has kept his door open. Turn within. Travel within. Then we will know. He will shine forth.
The need for control comes also from fear. But if we rely on him, he will show us the door. I don't have to sit and choose the door or be worried about the door. Which door is going to be open? Shraddha.
That's why when we are kids and when we used to have nightmares, grandparents would tell us, just chant Narayana, Narayana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Did it
was
work,
very
Divya?
powerful, huh? Very powerful. I remember as a kid when I was scared of something, Dad told me Rama Rama. It was very powerful. It just went away. Because as a kid, we just believe our elders. We don't question.
Yeah, we don't
Intellect is not.
intellectualize it.
Yes.
See, eventually it will go away.
Yeah.
All fears that come in, right? Eventually they go. But in that span of time, from when it has arisen to when it has fallen, that span, eventually it always go, but what has transpired during that period becomes very important. During that time, if like this Rama Rama has been established, then that is the samskara that has gone in. Or during that time, if a thought that this is wrong, why is I'm very scared, and I don't know, if worldly thoughts have come in, then those get in as our vasanas. The coming up and going is going to anyway happen, but during that time, what do we do?
Yes.
That becomes crucial, whether we collect vasana or whether we thaw our vasanas.
And Bhagavan will give it again and again until we chant Rama Rama or whatever, until we remember him.
Yes,
That is his play. That is his
absolutely.
leela.
And
That
that
is
may
like
be either in the form of
anything. Yeah.
yeah, it can be very softly telling us from within, or it can be a nice whack.
Yes, yes. So better we turn to him That is
Yeah,
what the
from my
Kabir Doha
experience,
said.
I can tell that I used to chant so much when I was little because of all this, parents and grandparents telling. But as you grow up, I certain habits that I left. But now I'm picking all that back up. It's like God has given me that blows, and now I'm realizing.
Yeah, all of us, in all our lives, it happens. The
It is
more
like that, no? Whenever something comes up, it will go. Like the night comes up. What happens at night? We go to sleep. Now, beautifully, even our rishis, the way they have given during the Uttarayana, if you see, they say you do work. The summer solstice, when the sun is moving, you do work. In the winter solstice, when it is going to maybe rainy and it's a little dark and gloomy, so many celebrations. So many celebrations have been given just to keep things positive and our mind, Margai, just to keep our mind this thing. So it's a way to say that this comes, this will come, this will also come, this will go. But when that, so you can't say no, this thing should be there. It will come up, but during that time, do you choose to go more with faith, or do we choose more to indulge in the object that has arisen? Surrender.
taking back to Asat or Sat.
Yes.
Where is the Shraddha? In Asat or Sat?
Or in Sat.
If the Shraddha is in Asat, I get entangled more.
Correct.
If the Shraddha is in Sat, then the release happens. In fact, he is our friend sitting inside and giving us all these experiences so that the Shraddha turns to him. Until that time, he will not stop. It will keep coming again and again.
It's like he gives us so many chances.
Yes, 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 yes. Everything is a chance for us to turn inwards, to turn to Sat, to turn to the truth. Bhakta is never destroyed. Yeah.
Continue, but
As for Bali, so Brahma is Narayana is saying. As for Bali, never once has he swerved from the path of truth. He has conquered Maya. He has suffered so much. He has lost his wealth, his power, and his position as the Lord of men. His enemies are laughing at him, tied up as he is by this Varuna Pasha. See, the insults is not affecting him. It is a very big, Jaya, very big victory, right? His ego is not there. He has won over it. His kinsmen have now abandoned him. His guru has cursed him. He has lost all that is worldly. And yet, his firmness to stay in the path of dharma is commendable. I spoke such deceptive words, and his guru spoke so many truths from the Vedas to convince him that he could call untruth truth. But he would not listen. Bali has now attained a state which is to be envied by the Devas. Blessed by me, he will be the Indra during the Manvantra by name Savarani. He will stay till that time in Sutala, which is dear to me. Bali, king of men, you will go now to Sutala. I will be there with you to protect you. I will always be with you. All your asuric nature will vanish very soon, and you will be a great Indra during Savarni Manvantra. One more thing here it is missing. He also says, I will be there with you, and you will also know that I am there. That is a very biggest, a blessing, because what happens many times again we get caught with the Maya. He is there, even now. I do not know. We are not in touch with that. So Bhagavan says, you go to Sutala and see here he says, which is dear to me. So all these talas are not, like the bad and the good kind of a thing. Yeah. It is even all in Asuras also, in their heart also Bhagavan resides. Everywhere he is. So he says he's dear to that which is dear to me. So you go there. So Bali is given. something to whatever, and then I'm there to protect you. And in Bhagavatam, it comes, you will know my presence always. You will, that is the biggest, blessing.
So these talas and lokas, it's like starting from sattvic quality. As we move down, comes to more tamasic. So the asuric, some nature is there, but even in that asuric nature, there was a recognition of the God. There is a recognition, and I was just, I will be there with you. I will always be with you. All your asuric nature will vanish very soon, and you will be a great Indra. Something had come up. So we have to go through whatever is needed so that the vasanas are still there. See, here is this thing. He is receiving the blessings from Narayana as Vamanavathara. And now he will be in this Sutala. Sutala Loka is that Loka in which that kind of vasanas are there, which are a little more, there is a little more tamas element between the Rajas, Sattva and tamas. There is a higher tamas element. But in that tamas element, so he has these vasanas. So you go through these vasanas, but still, because you are aware of him and God is there to grace us at all point in time. But am I aware of his presence in his life? When that is there, when the two happens, then slowly, these vasanas start thawing. All the asuric nature starts thawing, and he can rise from what? From Sutala to Indra's that position. Indra is in Swargaloka. Is my internet very patchy? Can you hear me?
It's clear.
No,
Yeah,
we can
ma'am.
hear
I think
clearly.
Bala
I
is
can hear
frozen.
clearly.
Oh, Bala's is gone. Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So
Oh.
from here, from the Sutala, you can go to the Swargaloka. That means his tamasic nature will be replaced and more sattva will come within. But then there is some more. See, again, he's not talking about moksha yet. So first step, when there is a tamasic nature, it gets replaced with sattvic nature through rajas. And then finally you go gunatita. But the divine's grace is there for all. Irrespective of whether even our scriptures, we have, they are categorized. Some scriptures are categorized as sattvic scriptures, some are as rajasic, and some as tamasic scriptures. I mean, not tamasic script. The scriptures are not tamas. The scriptures are for those who have a higher tamas, those who are in higher tamas, the minds that are in higher tamas. The scriptures for those who are in higher rajas. Like that also it has been classified. And Bhagavatam is supposed to be for the sattvic mind.
Ma'am, what are the other scriptures? I mean, for Rajasic and Mahabharata is Rajasic?
No, I'm talking about the Puranas.
Acha,
The
acha,
Puranas are categorized like that.
okay.
Like the Bhagavatam and Vishnu Purana are supposed to be sattvic. I don't know. I think this one, Devi Mahatmyam and all, will come under Rajasic. And Tamas, I'm not sure which one. But I have seen this categorization.
Yeah, they say 18, no? 666.
666 under each.
Which one comes under
Tamas
which?
probably comes Shiva. Because Shiva is called the Lord of Tamas. Guna. Huh?
Garuda Puranam varuma.
Garuda Purana surprisingly is
Satvik,
Satvik.
it seems.
Satvik.
We recently knew. I was
Yeah.
also thinking it is for Thomas.
It is Satvik. Shiva Purana. I think it is based on what it is like.
The main deity in the
Vishnus will
Purana.
be largely Satvik. Shaktis are all largely Rajasic, and Shiva is Tamas. Tamas, we look at it as negative. Tamas is also stability. That absolute, like a mountain. It is so stable. It has a high level of tamas and it is so stable. It is so dependable in a way. So that is also a form of tamas. Shiva in his great energy, that potential, absolute energy, concentration of energy, but absolute stability. So much in yoga. And then when he acts, it can cause destruction. Destruction of what? Destruction of the ego. Garuda Purana is Satvik.
Shiva Linga Matsya Kurma Skanda Agni Puranas.
Yeah.
Oh, you are seeing it, is it? In
Yes,
the...
sir.
Google la put.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And Rajasla?
Oh, Matsya Purana is also Tamasika.
Maybe it talks about destruction, that's why.
Ah, okay. The Laya aspect, maybe.
Laya of it. Yes.
What does the word Laya mean actually, ma'am?
Dissolution,
Acha.
like evolution, dissolution, the opposite of evolution. When the fear comes up, that is a evolution of the fear.
Okay.
The first seed of fear comes up and that fear feeds into so many things and it manifests as fear in so many different ways.
Okay.
And the dissolution is the final dissolution of the fear into oneself again.
Pralaya.
You can call it Pralaya. Yeah, we have a very childish cartoon that Amar Chitra Katha kind of idea of Pralaya. Pralaya is nothing but Srishti Sthiti Laya.
Oh,
There is a
that
creation,
actually
there is a
Pralaya.
maintenance, and there is a dissolution of everything.
No, I just asked because Laya in
It is like
also
that, like
pranayama,
Pralaya.
they say that Brahmari and all is Laya pranayama. So
Rajesh Purana Markandeya, Vamana, Bhavishya, Narasimha, Brahma, Vaivarta, Brahmanda. Rajasic Purana.
Where does Devi Bhagavatam come?
Brahmanda Purana.
Brahmanda Purana.
Brahmanda can be Rajasic. It's the creation part of it.
That is related to Brahma Rajasic, because
Rajasic,
Brahma creates only Rajasic through Rajasic Guna.
Correct. So like that it is categorized. So Vishnu is the maintainer, so it's a Sattvic element there.
Correct.
Devi Bhagavatam doesn't come under any of these, is it?
I will search it.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it comes under Brahmanda Purana, Arti.
No. Brahmanda Purana is completely separate and Devi Bhagavatam is...
Sahasranama comes, Lalita Sahasranama is in Brahmanda Purana. So I thought maybe Devi Bhagavatam.
Devi Bhagavatam is a separate Purana of its own.
Oh. Yes. I think we'll close today.
We'll finish, right? It's time.
How much more? No, it's still there. We'll continue next week.
We'll
But
continue.
we're so overcome.
I think Devi Mahatmya has not been given in Satvik Purana.
It's not been, no? It's not in it.
Vishnu Purana, Naradiya Purana, and Srimad Bhagavata Purana. Satvik.
Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.